Hello, this is Relationship Coach Renata Paris with GetRelationshipsRight.com. And today I want to talk to you about improving, healing, or saving your relationship or marriage. So here's what couples usually try to do. The first thing they notice, the first thing that happens is one of the partners or both people find themselves dissatisfied. Perhaps there's less physical intimacy, perhaps there's less sex, there's less conversation, they don't have as much fun together, they don't feel as connected, their satisfaction with the relationship goes down, or they may notice that they stay at work longer and they don't mind so much, or they spend more time with friends, or they would rather watch TV and be on the computer than spend time with their partner. The craving for their partner drops down. Now, many people in the relationship, most people in the relationship, when these kind of things happen, just assume this is normal and natural, that the excitement of a brand new relationship will eventually die down. They will sort of settle in, and it's normal to go back to life and not be quite as excited about your partner. And some of that is true. Life does go on, whether you're in a relationship or not, and does resume after the excitement of the chase and the courtship. Once you're decided you're together, life does resume and settle in a little bit. But the thing that people miss is the whole reason we are in relationships is because we crave connection, because we crave satisfaction. And so think about it this way. If you are in the friendship, does the friendship, a really good friendship, will that friendship deepen and become more satisfying over time? Or will it become less satisfying over time? Think about your best friendships. Will you want to spend less time with the person over time or more time with the person over time? Now, typically, here's what happens in really good friendships is people get more comfortable with each other and act more naturally on the one hand. So there's a little bit of settling and getting used to each other. But on the other hand, conversations deepen, experiences deepen, the pleasure of connection deepens, friendships deepen over time. And so for some reason we think of relationships as different than friendships, but they are really not. Good relationships, relationships that are functioning well, deepen over time. Your satisfaction with the relationship, your passion for each other should actually increase as opposed to decreasing. And that's how you know your relationship is functioning well. Now, your obsession with each other doesn't necessarily increase, and hopefully that drops off. But what takes place of the obsession is a deep sense of connection and satisfaction. So if you are missing that in your relationship, you will notice, and you might think it's normal, but it's not, because relationships, when they as the satisfaction drops off, the relationship becomes more and more in danger of eventually dying off. So what might show up as, we're settling in, some dissatisfaction, a month to a year later, maybe in a marriage 6 years later, might end up in a breakup or a divorce. So when couples realize they're in trouble, when their satisfaction with the relationship goes down enough, and let me tell you what happens as a result. So communication works in that you can talk to your partner about what's troubling you and you can ask for change. However, even if your partner agrees that change needs to happen, he or she may not be able to implement the change, because we as human beings typically have at least 2 or 3 forces inside of us. One force may say, yes, I need to do something, but a force typically stronger inside of us pulls us in the opposite direction. So we end up doing what we always end up doing, or we end up doing what we want to be doing instead of what we should be doing. So just because you ask for change does not mean your partner, by him or herself, can actually implement it. And then, as I said, people in relationships, when they know they're in trouble, will go try to find information. Information is great, but information, again, comes up against this struggle we have internally where we know what we should do, but we often can't implement it without something shifting inside. So it's not information that we need, but what's called a paradigm shift, a breakthrough. We actually need something inside of us to shift, to change, and information very rarely brings those kinds of shifts. Sometimes people in relationships or marriages try to just make up for what's missing. So for example, if sex is dropped off and the man in a relationship is no longer interested, is no longer initiating, the woman may start initiating to make up for lack of intimacy, and that works for a short time. But because the problem is not being addressed, that will also fail. Settling in the relationship and just assuming that however the relationship is a new normal, trying to accept it and trying to live with it, also doesn't work because we all crave satisfaction. And the truth is you deserve to be in a relationship. You deserve to save the relationship you're in, but you deserve to be satisfied. And those don't have to be mutually exclusive. And then finally, when all else fails, some couples and many marriages end up in therapy. Now, I think I have talked about therapy again. The problem with therapy is that the success rate for couples therapy is only about 20%. So many marriages that end up at therapy, the people in the relationship and the marriage believe this is their last resort. And when therapy fails, they think, okay, so that means the marriage is over, nothing can help us. And they walk away from each other. Where in reality, that's not the truth at all. It just means therapy doesn't work very well. So, here's what I really want you to know. Love is precious. And if you want to improve or save your relationship, you can. You just have to know what to do. So here comes the shameless plug. I want you to know that one of the things I do is I save marriages and relationships. When couples come and work with me, they think they're dealing with huge insurmountable problems. And typically what I do for them, and sometimes they are, and sometimes they are not. If both people want to save the relationship, it is more than possible. Typically what I do for couples is I break down the relationship issues, the relationship problems they're having in such a way that they're easily understandable and fairly easily overcome. And the clients that I work with find it amazing that they couldn't see this themselves. In fact, I think the smarter and more successful people are, the more they are frustrated that they can't get through their relationship issues or marriage issues themselves, because they feel that they should figure it out, because their intellect and their ability to succeed often helps them in their life to figure out problems, and why can't they solve their relationship problems? But the thing is, you can't solve something from within the problem. You have to be able to be outside. And there are things, there is information, and there are breakthroughs to be had in the arena of relationships that are not easily available, that are not easily understood until you understand how relationships function and how